Hello, I'm TheZOMBIEJ, and we're going to talk about, well, health problems. Yeah, not mental health problems. That'll be a separate video in on its own. Well, I'm not going to stick with the obvious thing, which is my weight, because, well, I'm working on that. Eating healthier meals and snacking far less. And drinking more water, too, so... I've lost weight, actually, so yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I do want to mention that I was born with a bone missing from each ankle. I believe this is called plantar fasciitis. I could be wrong, but it's something. Like, I remember when we used to go to a place we called the trails. We walk outside and admire nature and whatnot. My feet would cave in. Every time I walked, my feet would like cave inward. Like say these are my legs, and the feet would go inward like that, so that the middle of the foot is basically touching the ground. Although I had shoes on, so it doesn't count. This was remedied in 2004 when I had a foot doctor and I had to get surgery twice. 2 surgeries. Same year, I think. I ended up with a screw on each ankle, to replace said bone. One surgery required also a plate, metal plate. So, both times I was in elementary school. And so this issue had to happen. It had to be solved. Otherwise, I could go the rest of my life walking weirdly. And I still walk weirdly sometimes, but hey. Paranoia. Not really. So, I ended up with a cast on one leg and one foot. It was one massive cast, so I had to wear it for like 2 weeks. Or 1 week, I don't remember. And same thing with the other one later on in the year. So it did the job. And I remember the doctor, when removing the cast, had used something called a tickle saw, which it had a saw blade that would cut the the cast itself, but not my skin, actually. It would actually not cut the skin. It would just, tickle the skin a little bit. That sounded wrong, but still. That's why it's called a tickle saw. And it worked. And so, my feet problems are still, yeah. It didn't solve the problem 100%, but it did the job, and I still have them. Over the years, I've had lumbar region issues. That's the lowest part of the back, right above the ass. And this was due to some sleeping problems. It's also a weight thing as well. But again, I'm figuring that out. So don't blame it on my weight. The lumbar region, it's sometimes, I would sleep awkwardly. Like I would sleep on my side, and I still sleep on my right side. I sleep on my left side. Rarely do I ever sleep on my stomach or on my back. There are instances where I would sleep on the couch at my grandma's house. Rest in peace, Grandma. And I would wake up at lunchtime for some reason. So, yeah, and then she'd fix me a grilled cheese. There are times where my lumbar region would just, have a conniption. In fact, earlier this year or last year, on my bed I have this pillow with a red pillowcase. And I would have that on the right side of the bed. Basically, that's that side with the manga volumes. And basically, when I was listening to a CD on my stereo, I was listening to this CD, and I decided to lean all the way back and lay flat on my back with my head up against the pillow. That was not a good idea. It actually hurt my lumbar a bit. It really did, and it sucked. Eventually it was able to heal itself, but yeah. If I'm going to lay down in bed, I have to have my entire body on the bed instead of like halfway on the bed, or more than half. So, I remember during school, during PE class, we would go outside and, walk the track, and I was never the most fit person in the class, but it still exhausted me to no end and made me sweat a lot. I hate sweating; it's gross, but it's what we do as humans. And so I would get exhausted from being outside and, well, obviously walking the track. I would have a goal of walking it at least once or twice, or 3 times. Very rarely. And eventually I would stop because I would get sick of doing it, or my feet would hurt, or my back would hurt, or, yeah. So, in terms of arm strength, when it came to, the gym in high school, I would go to the gym and try to lift some weights and, pump some iron. So, power through some reps. And my arm strength is 0 to none, basically. It's there's not much there. I remember trying to go to the highest amount of weight on the bar with the 2 slabs of metal or weights, and I just could not lift it. I could not lift it. I was being a pussy at that time. I just could not lift it. I have tolerance levels when it comes to lifting weights, but I don't go to the gym anymore because I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I do lift boxes and other heavy things. We get packages at the front door, and I have to lift the boxes as if they're heavy, full of stuff, and that's the best workout I got. Besides, putting dishes away and taking the trash out to the trash can. And yeah. Other health concerns I've had over the years. Well, recently, my sister and I were out on, what was it, Monday? Yeah, it was Monday. And on our way to lunch, we went to Freddy's. On our way to Freddy's, I was having this weird chest pain on my right side of my chest, and it lasted through the entire day. I have no idea what it was, and I don't think I ever will know, but I thought part of it was my posture, sitting in the car, in the back seat of the car, because my sister needed the front seat for other items, including her water bottle. And I remember just trying to get comfortable towards the end of the adventure, and I just couldn't. So no matter what I did, I just could not get comfortable. Plus, I had my headphones on, so it kept bumping the top of the ceiling of the car. So that had something to do with it too. But I have no idea what that pain was, and yet it lasted from Monday all the way up until, well, yesterday. And today it seems to be gone, so it's like, I mean, sure, okay. It's gone, so I guess it was just one of those pains that goes away after a certain period of time. It's not much of a concern anymore, but I guess we'll find out tomorrow. So, I've also had random pains here and there, like every time, like this happens literally every day. It's not even funny. I would be walking throughout the house, trying to get some stuff done, and even in my room, getting stuff done, and I would step, like I would plant my foot onto the ground, and I would, like if I made the wrong step, and my ankle would just fuck up, basically. Like it would have a random sharp pain in there, and it's happened to both ankles before, so it's not just one ankle, it's both. And this pisses me off more than anything, because it's like, this shouldn't be happening, but it does, and that's what pisses me off. So but I don't know, it's weird. Other things, you know, obviously I do this. Popping the knuckles and the joints in general. Obviously, I was told that this relieves some sort of pressure or gas or whatever. Whether that's a myth or if it's truth, I don't know, and I don't care. It still is a thing I do, even to this day. Then again, the person who told me that is probably... they probably didn't know what they were talking about, so... I even cracked my neck. Sweating like a pig over here. So, that's a lot of stuff to talk about, really. I remember I sprained my ankle at one point, I think. I remember Halloween of 2021, I think. I was wearing my Michael Myers mask, my old one. I was walking out the front door to, you know, see what's going on. And my right foot ended up on the corner of the step right out our front door. And it was basically the palm of the foot, if you want to call it that. It was the middle section of the foot, and that hurt really damn bad. I fell. I fell onto the patio, the front patio, which is made of concrete, and I screamed. I hurt my foot. It was my fault because I was wearing a fucking mask on Halloween. And, yeah, so I walked. Like, I could still walk, but I needed to rest. So I rested, just haven't really done anything. So I just rest and make sure my foot heals. It did. It took a while, but it healed. So, that's the thing. The body has an immune system. And it takes time for things to heal, but it still works, at least. Not sure how it is with animals, but for humans, it works effectively. But yeah, it hurt my foot really freaking bad, and it sucked. Another example was in 2017, back when we lived somewhere else. I remember we were going down, I was getting groceries. I was helping my dad bring groceries into the house, and we were going down the stairs, and I had too many bags in one hand. It was in my left hand. And I had my other hand on the rail, and I had fallen. I'd slipped, my left foot caught was caught on the underside of the step because they had opened the steps, like, yeah. These were wooden steps too, so there was like slabs of wood in a space, and then a slab of wood in a space, and yeah. And then, yeah, I screamed, obviously, but I was squishing the groceries, so, oof, yeah. Then, eventually I fell. I slid down the stairs on the groceries and landed on my butt. Oh my god. So the thing about it was my pinky toe was, it was hanging on by a thread, basically. It was like, it needed to be sewed. Like, I had to be taken to the emergency room. There was some blood. It ended up on the concrete. And, yeah, I had to go back. I had to go to the doctor and the hospital. And luckily, obviously, there was a shot involved, obviously, to numb the area of the wound. And I had to, the doctors had to clean it up and sew it back together. The toe with the where the toe meets the foot. Yeah, that was pretty scary, actually. I also remember another time, I think it was also in 2017, I fell down the stairs. Just randomly, fell down the stairs. And again, landed on my ass. I've fallen down the stairs a few different times, but yeah. Also, I do remember, while I was in my room at that other location, and this was like 6 or 7 years ago. I don't even remember when exactly. Probably 2018. I don't remember, but like, I thought my knee, it was my right knee, I thought my knee had to be popped because, popping the joints, crack. So, it didn't. Instead, it caved, and I twisted the knee a little bit, and the cap kind of got, the kneecap got, mislocated. It kind of torqued a little bit, and it hurt really bad. I eventually, fell on the floor. And luckily, it was carpet, but I was fine. So, I managed to get up off the floor and, get myself back onto the chair or the bed or whatever. But yeah, I sprained my knee at that point. I think it was a sprain, if you want to call it that. But yeah, so it was my fault because I thought that there was some, my knee needed to be popped. That's what I thought needed to happen, and apparently it didn't. So I was trying really hard to pop it, but I eventually just, mislocated the kneecap, and everything was fine within a couple days, I think. But yeah, that just proves that, don't pop your knee if it doesn't need to be popped. So, and eventually, popping the joints for your entire life, eventually you'll get arthritis. So, if you're prone to arthritis, I'd say avoid popping your knuckles or whatnot. And I just did that with my thumbs. So, I haven't had any other foot problems lately. Obviously, just popping the joints of my foot. There is that. Feet, that is. I think that's all I can remember, honestly. I mean, I remember falling on the grounds of the high school that I went to one year. I slipped on their stupid grounds. I fell, and I landed on my knee. Hurt my knee, but I was fine. Other times that I've fallen on school grounds or whatever, I would scrape my fucking knee. And I know everybody's been through that, so it's nothing special for me. But it's still annoying. Hell, I've even scraped my elbow at one point. Yeah. We had I do remember at the other location we had a Murphy bed, if you know what that is. Unfortunately, one of the legs that folded up to put it away, it was made of metal, and so it was really bad metal. Eventually, at some point, the leg just snapped off, except, like, it just kind of, yeah, it was done. And what remained, I ended up with the Murphy bed at some point, and, I remember I was on the floor at one point, and, just trying to find parts that were under the bed, I guess. And I sliced my leg on that fucking metal part where the leg broke off. I was miscalculating where my leg was and where that was, so I bled. It left like a scar about this long. This long. And I still have that scar. I've managed to leave it alone, obviously. So I've had many wounds over the years that were accidental. And yeah. A recent fairly recent wound was on this elbow. There's a little wound right there. That was just dry skin. There was a dry skin on here that I was scratching and peeling off, and eventually it became that. That's just minor, though. So I've learned to leave that one alone. That's another thing. I tend to make some wounds worse than they already were. I had a cat scratch on my arm right here, and yeah, I ended up making it worse. It seems to be a thing I do. I don't know why. But yeah, so other health concerns that I could think of is, well, vomiting, getting sick, and just throwing up. And funny, because there was a baseball player that threw up today at the stadium. He had to be taken out of the game, I assume. So he threw up his entire lunch. Great. That's just lovely, isn't it? There were many times I vomited. Like, before my sister had a ballet rehearsal, recital, actually. And I remember one day, like, we were supposed to go to the recital. I didn't want to go because I was feeling really sick. I vomited. I threw up my lunch. And I just couldn't keep it down, and yet I managed to suck it up and go anyway, because I wanted to support my sister. Yeah. I wasn't going to be stupid and not support her. But throwing up that day was not good. I've thrown up before. All four of us have thrown up back at another location we used to live at in the early to mid 2000s. It was in the mid 2000s, and we had Domino's, and for some reason the pizza was left out at room temperature before they decided to deliver it to us. Thank you, Domino's, you fucking cunts. Except nowadays, it's fine. They're fine. Their cheese garlic bread thing is fucking awesome. Their Parmesan stuffed crust is fantastic. I tried that for the first time this year, and it was great. It really was. But that pizza that we had all those years ago, it made us not want to do or have Domino's for the longest time until, well, I guess 5 years ago. Within this recent 5 years, we decided they're probably better nowadays. So, and yes, they have been. Their cheese bread conglomerate is just fucking awesome. It is great. Their Parmesan stuffed crust pizza, just amazing. I love it. You gotta get the classic pepperoni version. Yum. So, yeah. I'll talk about food again some other day, because right now talking about food is making me hungry, and it's getting close to dinner time, I think. So, but, yeah, so that pizza that we had all those years ago was enough to make all four of us throw up. I remember waking up in the middle of the night in my own vomit. I apparently vomited in my sleep. What? Yeah, this obviously happened, and it gave us food poisoning, is what I'm saying. So, yeah. Nobody wants food poisoning. If you get food poisoning, let me tell you how it's like. You will throw up, even in your sleep. In the middle of the night, you will wake up with vomit right there by your face, and on your face. Yeah, it was disgusting, and we hated Domino's for the longest time because of that. But thankfully, they're better now, so they got redemption. But that was just really something that stuck with us for the longest time, was having to deal with that, you know? Domino's giving us food poisoning, it's more likely than you think. At least back then it was. But I don't know why they decided to leave it at room temperature. If you work at Domino's and you've seen stuff like this happen, well, you might want to go to Papa John's instead of Domino's at that point. But hey, we still eat from both restaurants nowadays. Even Pizza Hut's good too. Their stuffed crust pizza is absolutely fantastic. I love it. Had that for my birthday this year, and it was great. Papa John's stuffed crust is actually better than Pizza Hut's for some reason. I like it. So, those are the big three. Pizza Hut, Papa John's, and Domino's. Those are the big three. They all have stuffed crust pizzas, and they're just great. CC's Pizza Buffet also has good stuffed crust as well. Little Caesars also has one as well. Yeah. What's your favorite pizza joint? Post that in the comment section below. So that's all of the health stuff I can think of, other than the occasional headaches. And it seems like now I'm more prone to headaches, but like recently I've just been suffering from a headache, and it's not okay. Going through headaches is like going through literal mental torment, and it sucks. It really does. So I had to, eventually get a Tylenol, or a couple of painkillers, Tylenol, for example, and eventually it went away. And I don't have a headache right now, so I'm fine. So, headaches do bother me from time to time. I mean, they do happen more often than you think. When it comes to, throwing up, I remember at school I threw up before, and I had to be sent home, and rightfully so. because, hey, I get to stay home. So, but yeah, so that's pretty much all the health stuff that I can think of. Yeah, that's pretty much all I can think of. So, there was a lot of stuff, really. It was a lot of stuff within this 30-minute adventure. So, I'm gonna take a quick break and drink some tea. Apparently, black tea dries you out a little bit. That sounded disgusting. Anyway. So, that's all I can think of. Otherwise, the only other thing I can think of is just the occasionally falling and injuring myself. But I mean, that happens from time to time, you know. Every so often, on the rarest occasions, I would fall and it would not be good. I remember my knee hurt so much one day. I think I might have sprained the knee. That was back in 2015, though, so 10 years ago? Wow. It's the anniversary of me hurting my knee. So, but yeah, that's all I can think of, really. And I know it sounds like a lot, but yeah, I mean, everybody's been through a lot, I'm sure, you know, in terms of, you know, health concerns and physical issues as well. Like with me, it's mostly physical, you know. I have screws in my ankles, as I said. And I don't like, you know, walking for long periods of time. It does bother me. Even 5 minutes is too long for me. I mean, really, seriously. 5 minutes of walking, yeah, it's a little painful. It really is. And you're going to say that it's probably my weight. And, well, yes, I've been eating healthier meals, as I've said, and I've lost some weight, so that's a good thing. Fuck off. So, any health concerns that you've had over the past, well, ever since you were born? Let me know in the comment section below your stories of having strange health things. And, well, yeah. So, one more glass of tea, drink of tea. And yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I will be back tomorrow with a video regarding food, and y'all are going to want to stick around for that, so get subscribed if you haven't already. If you want me to talk more about topics like this, I wouldn't, because, yeah. Every so often I will talk about something that's not Lego, but, yeah. So yeah, stay tuned for more videos. I'm TheZOMBIEJ. I'll see you folks there. Have a good fucking day, and peace.